All right, what is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the CHB Podcast. Today, I'm joined by a real-life astronaut. What's going on, Relly? How are you, mate?
I'm doing good, man. How you been, bro?
Good. You've taken up a new occupation since I last saw you. You've graduated, and now you're working for NASA.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen it. This is the first thing that I want to get started on because I was getting a haircut while this shit was happening. And that's the NBA draft lottery. Before I get into my, what I want to talk about, I just wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts and opinion on it? Like, how do you reckon it went? Did anything shock you?
Honestly, not really. To me, the only thing that shocks me is the fact that the Lakers actually had a chance to be a top 10 pick in the draft, and that and it was somebody else that and then also Sacramento. I didn't realize Sacramento had had the chance to get a top 6 pick. So
they did come out of nowhere. All right, the thing that I wanted to talk about, right? This is my conspiracy. I said to you that I had a little bit of a conspiracy before we started it, right? So you know how in every single year someone talks about the draft lottery being rigged, right? There's 100 different reasons on why it possibly could be rigged. Yeah. What I said to someone privately before the lottery happened. You watch. Out of the 5 teams that will probably get one, I said, name the 5 teams. Detroit, Houston, Orlando, etc. Right? I said, out of all of them, 4 of those teams were guaranteed to take Chet Holmgren at 1. They all need a big man. They all need a center. Oklahoma's there as well. They all need that dude, right? Except one of those teams who a couple of their good players are centers in the Orlando Magic. I said, you watch, Orlando will get the first overall pick because they'll be the only team that will be like, it's not a guaranteed on who they're going to take at 1. They might not take Chet Holmgren at 1. They might take Jabari Smith or Paolo Banchero. And I said, you watch, the NBA will give it to Orlando because it's the spiciest one. It's the one that's going to draw the most eyes because no one knows who they're going to take. What happened? The Orlando Magic got the first overall pick. Am I on the money there or something? Or is it just a conspiracy that I have?
You might be on the money. I'm not even gonna fake it to you because the Magic did need something. They needed something desperately. They needed something desperately.
Yep. Like, think about it. Detroit, they would have taken Chet every day of the week. Houston, every day of the week. Oklahoma, they're taking Chet. What's another team? God, if Portland somehow won it, I still reckon they're probably going to take Chet. Even with all the Nurkic stuff that's all coming around. Who knows, right? But at the end of the day, the only team that was like, oh, who are they going to take was the Orlando Magic. And that's what that's going to boost ratings, all of that type of stuff. But I want to ask you then, that kind of leads me on to my next thing. Who should the Orlando Magic take at 1? Do you think they should just take Chet Holmgren?
Yes.
Yeah, they're good.
Yes, because they drafted 3 straight guards back-to-back with their picks. They need size. Yes, you can argue they got Wendell Carter. And I feel like I'm forgetting some other bigs, but all of the bigs,
he would be the other one.
But all of them are injury prone. Like all of they players with size is injury prone. Jonathan Isaac is injury prone. They got the 3 guard. They literally need Chet.
Yeah,
they need him. It's no if they draft any other player but him, the Magic is getting clowned. They're getting clowned.
That's what I thought. But dude, I saw a post by one of the NBA pages that said, is Chet going to be guaranteed 1 in Orlando? And everyone was clowning. People were saying they should take Jabari Smith. And apparently from what ESPN have heard, because as soon as the draft lottery came out a couple of minutes ago, some random bloke who works for ESPN was like, I've got all the details. Here's my draft lottery. And he reckons he's got a bit of an inside view that the Magic are really keen on Jabari Smith. What do you do? So no, I'm agreeing with you though. Like, why, dude? Wendell Carter, he played the four so much this year. Apparently, Mo Bamba, I think he's a free agent. He would be perfect for the Toronto Raptors. I don't reckon you'd roll Wendell Carter as your permanent center. And I think the beauty of having Wendell Carter and Chet Holmgren on the court potentially at the same time is both can rotate on the 4, both can rotate on the 5. I think it'd be a perfect situation. And if you were to take Jabari Smith, though, where would that leave Jonathan Isaac? Like, are we just going to forget that that guy is on their team? I feel like he's just one of the most forgotten players in the NBA at the moment.
I agree. Because if they make that – because don't get me wrong, Jabari Smith, he does look special for what I've seen. Like, from an offensive standpoint, his ceiling is really, really high. But like you said, like, you got Jonathan Isaac, right? So if you believe in Jonathan Isaac, like y'all said, y'all believe in Jonathan Isaac, y'all paid him like y'all did already. And he got hurt like right after that, you know? So if you do that, I agree with you 100%. That might mean either maybe they got something planned where they going to trade Jonathan Isaac, but I doubt it.
Yeah. I honestly just have, look, and I know Orlando Magic fans, surprisingly, there is quite a lot of them. I didn't think there were a whole lot of them until I got absolutely blasted one video for saying they need to figure out their point guard situation. But am I completely wrong for saying they need to fix their guard situation when they've got Markelle Fultz there, Jalen Suggs, and Cole Anthony? The thing I said was they should trade Markelle Fultz, but people were spamming me in the comments saying he's our best player, this and that. No. Then what was the point of Jalen Suggs then? Why did you take him? You saw Scotty Barnes on the board. Anyone who actually paid attention to the draft knew that Scotty Barnes was going to be something special. Like, I think I had him going at 6 to Oklahoma. Then a little bit later, I think I said I wouldn't be surprised if the Raptors or Magic took a chance on him, and the Raptors did. Like, I don't know. If you're the Magic, you could have tried to trade up for Scotty Barnes if you thought the Raptors were really going to try and go for him. Like, if that was maybe your situation. But no, they said to themselves that Suggs was the guy. But what should they do? Because I think Cole Anthony's the 6th man in the league. I stand by that. But can you start Suggs and Fultz in the same lineup and have Cole Anthony off the bench?
No, I don't. I'm actually a little different. I think Cole Anthony, because at first I didn't think Cole Anthony was going to translate. But after this season, I think you have to start Cole Anthony because he's more durable. He's injury prone, but he's more durable than the other two. And then I think you have to move Markelle Fultz. Like Markelle Fultz, if you look at his statistics, he's literally gotten worse every single season from a shooting aspect, and you brung him in as a offensive guard, right? So realistically, he would be that sixth man. But like, I agree with you. I think Orlando has to correct that guard situation. You got Markelle, you got Markelle, you got Suggs, and you got Cole Anthony, right? All three of them is about the same size, about the same weight, about the same play style, right? So it's like, what are you gonna like? I know you're not gonna draft another guard, are you?
I would hope they wouldn't. You'd imagine now at pick 1 they go for Jaden Ivey, mate. That would be the funniest thing. Like that, they're not gonna do that. But you're legitimately onto something there. And let's just say they do take Smith at 1 or whatever, right? If you're going to do that, you still have to start Jonathan Isaac. So does that mean? So you're going to start Cole Anthony at 1. You would start Franz Wagner at the 2, Isaac at the 3, Smith at the 4, and then Wendell Carter at the 5. But then you'd have Markelle and Jalen Suggs coming off the bench. And that just doesn't sit right with me. That starting 5, in my opinion, would actually be a really solid starting 5 that could contend for the play-in. But then that bench would let them down. Like, that bench would be it wouldn't be exactly great at all. I'm just not a fan of the 3 guards that they've got on their team.
You're going to have 2 guards who's going to end up wanting to leave Orlando. Like, because Markelle Fultz literally came there for a fresh start to have the chance to start, to get minutes, right?
Yep.
Then you got Jalen Suggs, who got just drafted last year, who a lot of people thought was going to be special, still got the potential to be special, right? And you already just cut him from the lineup, the rotation, because like you said, if they do draft Jabari Smith and that lineup is how it is, and I think that would be a realistic starting 5, Jalen Suggs is not going to get those type of minutes, right? Because as you've seen, like that last season, they had their full faith in Cole Anthony after like that second month of the season. They was full throttle. They was being super careful, super duper careful with Cole Anthony. They was giving him load management early. I've never seen that with a below 500 team like that. Like, so they already shown us that they
like Cole.
They like Cole. And I agree with you 100%. I just don't feel like if they draft Jabari Smith and you factor in that they're adding Jonathan Isaac next season, like they say, and like you said, the player I forgot is Franz Wagner, who's, is supposed to be this gem. I don't see how that works. I don't see how that works.
I think Orlando Magic fans, I don't want to call these guys out because a lot of them are, pretty supportive. Like, I've definitely got some good comments, but goddamn, like, we've got to realize eventually that, like, these same fans were probably giving Cavs fans shit a minute ago for having Colin Sexton and Garland as 2 guards, and now they've got 3. Like, that's a little bit of a different situation to what the Cavs are kind of dealing with right now. I think, the Orlando Magic, they have to figure something out. But you know who, like, hit a gold mine in this draft lottery? Oklahoma, man. Oklahoma, they realistically could absolutely belt this draft. And anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, basically they have a huge chance to get Chet Holmgren at 2, especially if Jabari Smith goes to the Magic at 1. And then at pick 12, there's rumors Jalen Duren might be falling down to pick 12. And I don't know if you've heard of that guy, but he's basically was compared to a little bit smaller, maybe actually could be the same height, like a Dwight Howard type. That was literally his comparison. Like, you look at the players that are pick 7 to 14, all of them have maybe some average comparisons, but Jalen Duren, his ceiling is that high. He could be like not as good as prime Dwight Howard, but a similar type. And then if you are Oklahoma, could you imagine that starting 5, that young team? Point guard, you would have Josh Giddey, shooting guard SGA, small forward Lou Dort, power forward Chet, and at the 5 you would have Jalen Duren. Jeez, they did well in the lottery. But I want to know, do you think is that like the type of team that you would go for, or do you think Oklahoma maybe they might end up with someone else at 2, like that Paolo Bonchoro, or maybe a Jabari Smith?
I think Oklahoma right now, is willing to experiment. So I think whoever the best available is, that's what they're going to take. Because they got, 16 more attempts to make this right? Like, even if it's wrong, they got 16 more first-round picks in a couple years. So I do believe if Chet is available, they're going to draft him. But, like, I think no matter who they draft, they lineup, like, is going to be special. Like, they got big guards. Like, they literally have what a lot of teams want. They got big guards. They got the potential to have
athletic forwards.
Yeah, and it's like I think Oklahoma got their best case scenario, right? They and I think Derek Favors. Yeah, I think Derek Favors opted in his contract too, but like they got a lot of options here.
Yeah,
like Sam Presti. I think Sam Presti. Sam Presti did his thing.
Yeah,
he did his thing.
Honestly, I haven't been too fond of them trading for all of those picks. I just really thought though, I didn't think it would have been like the greatest thing. So a lot of those picks would have ended up a little bit lower. especially later in the years. But I think what I said the whole time was they just need one draft lottery to go their way. And out of all of the years that they needed it to go their way, it was this one, and they managed to get up to 2. Because the worst case scenario would have been for them to not win it and have 4 and 5. I think they would have suffered more than nearly any other team, because what they would have had to do is they probably couldn't take best available anymore, because that would have been a Jaden Ivey or a Shaden Sharp who wouldn't have fit into their team. If they had like 5 or 6, like they fell down a bit, they probably would have had to potentially reach and take a Jalen Duren and hope that he turned out what they, wanted with Giddey last year, where they reached for Giddey. That's what I am assuming would have to happen. But they've landed with a top 3 pick now, and they need a power forward and they need a center. So happens that the first 3 players available are all power forwards and centers. Yeah. They did really well.
I honestly think OKC had a backup plan too, a secret backup plan.
Ooh. What do you think it was?
I think had they not, like, because I know you said that if they would have got like pick 5 or 6, I think hypothetically Sam Presti would have just took that pick 5. He would have took another one of those picks he got stored up.
Oh, yeah.
And he would have just went to the top. Like, you know what? I mean, hey, there's only 2 more picks, and you get another additional first round that could be another top 5. You never know. So I think Sam Presti, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, that's he would have tried it up.
Yeah, I think this year and next year, because if you really think about it, he tried to do the same thing last year when he tried to move all the way up to get Mobley. So
true.
I think Sam Presti, I think that's his trump card. Like right now, he's just, if he's not necessarily getting the player he's willing to trade for him. I think he's willing to make that price if need be.
Do you think, imagine if he did this, do you think he would offer 12 and 2 first-round picks for like pick 4 and hope like a Banchero type player falls down to that? 'Cause imagine if he came out with Paolo Banchero and Chet Holmgren, who are both like supposed to be top 4 players in the draft. And they need both of those guys.
Because who's the second pick? Because Orlando's 1.
Yeah, OKC have pick 2.
Oh yeah, and then the third pick is who?
Houston, and then Sacramento had 4.
Okay, so yeah, I think they could have got a deal done with Houston or Sacramento confidently. I think really Sacramento. I think Sacramento would have been willing to do that. They would have had to do that, honestly.
I wonder what Sacramento are trying to do, man. What a team. what a franchise. I don't even know what they're trying to accomplish now. It's a very weird team. I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it. What I do want to talk about though is the Phoenix Suns, man. What is going on with them? I need to know, because everyone's talking about them except us right now. So I need to hear your thoughts.
They play Luka Doncic. And that's really, and they got caught at the wrong time too.
I think a couple of their players got somewhat of like a reality check. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, like Devin Booker and Chris Paul.
Yeah, because if you want to put this in context, I was telling my friends like, Luka Doncic is like so far in the past 2 series he's played, he's definitely been the best player in those 2 series, but he has not had the best team in either one of those 2 series, and really Phoenix, because I know a lot of people are saying Phoenix just didn't have the people to guard him, but they did. And that's what's worse, because they had Mikal Bridges that y'all was hyping up as this defender who should have won Defensive Player of the Year. Then you had Cam Johnson that had the size and the quickness as well. Then you had DeAndre Ayton. Then you had JaVale McGee to switch. Then you had that's another center they had. I want to say Bismack Biyombo for some reason.
It was the other.
Yeah, Bismack Biyombo. So you had a lot of players to potentially switch on Luka. The problem was Dallas just quickly just spaced y'all all out, and they also just attacked CP3.
Yeah,
like they just went right after. Like I've never seen CP3 look so discombobulated.
He turned it over so much.
And Dallas has never been considered this top tier defensive team, yet they looked really great defensively.
Dude, their team is so weirdly built. It's got to be one of the weirdest built teams I've ever seen in my life. They just put a bunch of floor spaces on the court, and none of them are like known defenders. They're not like, dude, like I swear they had like some rotation going on at one stage where they had like Maxi Kleber, Davis Bertans. They just got every single white player in the NBA that can shoot a three and put them on the court at the same time. But then they spiced it up with a point guard like Brunson or Dinwiddie in there too. It was a weird ass team, and they're winning. How weird's that? I don't get it.
Yeah, this is a team that should not have made it this far. And I love Luka. A lot of people know how I've always said Luka was going to be special before the draft, but realistically, this Dallas team should not be doing this. It shouldn't. Like, and they have no center. Like, they have no true center. Like, they've been playing small ball lineups on everybody they've played so far. They are confidently putting Bertans, Maxi Kleber, and the other guy that missed
Powell.
Yeah, they're confidently putting him at the 5 against DeAndre Ayton, JaVale McGee, and Bismack Biyombo.
Yep.
And Rudy Gobert. You know, like that's in Whiteside. Like that should not happen.
Tell me how Dwight Powell is still
he shouldn't be in the league.
A functional role player in the NBA. He is on $11 million, and no one can tell me that Dwight Powell is any better than Tristan Thompson. I don't want to hear it. Like, am I wrong for saying that? He's not better than Tristan Thompson, and he's on
I agree with you.
Like, he's starting, isn't he? He's like literally starting or something in a conference finals team, and the guy like looks like he could play in the Australian league and still get his ass kicked up.
He should not be in the NBA.
I don't know.
When he missed those 2 free throws in the Utah series that could have very easily sealed the game, he should have been out. He should not have started again. He shouldn't even have been in a rotation ever again.
I don't get it, man. But if you were to, first of all, but we'll talk about DeAndre Ayton in a second, because I think it's common knowledge now he will not be on the Phoenix Suns next season. But I want to talk about, what do you think could fix the Phoenix Suns? Because honestly, I have a player in mind that I think could drastically help out, and I think could actually change them, who would be a very cheap guy to bring in. And I'll get to him in a second, but the reason I think it could be this player is because, did you notice, as soon as Devin Booker started to get cold, he looked to the right of his shoulder and looked for some guy to step up. No one stepped up to put up any shots. He looked over at Chris Paul. Mate, Chris Paul, instead of shooting shots, he was throwing the ball into the crowd. He turned to his other shoulder and looked at DeAndre Ayton, and DeAndre Ayton was ready to put on a Spurs jersey mid-game or something. And he started looking around, and there was no one to help him.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I'm telling you, do you think for a cheap guy that they could bring in who's looking to revive his career, could Dennis Schroeder be a guy that they look at? A shot-creating guard who can put good points per game off the bench, has played very, very well with Chris Paul in the past. Could he be a cheap dude that they look at and just say, look, we need a guy off the bench that's not Cameron Payne. Come in and put up some shots and do it efficiently. I think he'd be a good fit, and he'd be pretty cheap, $2 million, and get the deal done.
That'd be decent. I think that'd be a step in the right direction. I think they still need another piece. I do think they need another scorer.
Okay.
They need. I just don't know what that score would be, but they would definitely need another scorer. I might even recommend, since like you said, it seems like they traded DeAndre Ayton. I would double down on those very cheap rim protectors. So JaVale McGee, Bismack Biyombo, keep them long term, and then use DeAndre Ayton because he has a lot of value in the league for a lot of teams, and try to attract somebody who is an offensive threat. I might even try to see if I can get a sign and trade with Washington to get Bradley Beal. I would get somebody
Whoa.
nature to I think somebody of that nature, that would be ideal for Phoenix.
Wow. Bradley Beal, Chris Paul, and Devin Booker. What a trio. Pretty small.
Yeah. But then you still got JaVale McGee and Bismack Biyombo. So one of them would have to start.
I don't
But
think Bismack will be on the. You wouldn't think he'd be in the team next year, would you? I don't know if he's that good.
I think they would keep him as, like one of those just in case,
Yeah, just in case stuff. Like an Ed Davis type.
Yeah, but I would probably, even though I still have those two centers, I would probably run small. Like assuming I got Bradley Beal, I would run a CP3, Devin Booker Beal, and then maybe Cam Johnson. Let's say Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson. Alternate them 4 and 5. Like I would run it like that. Like I would just space out, have everybody on the perimeter. So a lot of ISO would go on. I think Phoenix would benefit a lot from that. I think Devin Booker would get easier shots that way, and I think Bradley Beal would have a better time as well. I think that would be probably what they would be looking at. I kind of would, honestly, I think the best way to explain it is exactly what Dallas is doing.
Yeah, okay.
With better talent.
I don't know about Bradley Beal on the Suns. Maybe I just can't see Bradley Beal leaving the Wizards. Something about it. I don't know. I tell you what, though. When we're talking about DeAndre Ayton, they're reportedly in the top 2 conversations for 2 superstars in the NBA right now. I don't know if you've seen it, but they're going to have quite a bit of cap. They've got a lot of flexibility they can move with, a lot of good contracts that they can trade. There are 2 players out there that they have been extremely linked to, and that's been none other than DeAndre Ayton, first of all, right? Nice new background. None other than DeAndre Ayton, but the other one being Zach LaVine. I don't know if you've heard those rumors, but they have really come out of absolutely nowhere. Like, I think maybe it was because the NBA needed someone in free agency to actually have some interest in another team, because all the superstars look like they're coming back. But Zach LaVine and DeJounte Murray have apparently been good mates for quite a while. They both knew each other in Seattle. And when he lost with the Chicago Bulls and their talks came out that San Antonio would be interested, DeJounte Murray actually tweeted out eye emojis over the article. So, which makes me think, do you think the Spurs are quietly in the background trying to bring in DeAndre Ayton and Zach LaVine to build some type of super team? Or is it just NBA journalists trying to spice something up?
I think they're trying to spice something up. I think if for that to happen, that would be an awesome San Antonio power move that no one's seen coming. Like, because honestly, because I don't see Zach leaving. I really don't. I don't see him leaving Chicago. I think he just gave an ounce of like possibility that it can happen. He's an unrestricted free agent, so he has that opportunity. But I don't see him doing it. Yeah. But if he were to do it, and they did get DeAndre Ayton, that would open some doors, because the West is not how it used to be, and the East is actually really, really, really deep. So I can understand why if he were to do that, but I don't see it. I don't think that's a
move that would happen. Yeah. There are a lot of alarm bells going on with the Bulls right now, though. If you're a Chicago Bulls fan, you're definitely sitting at home thinking, holy crap, what's going on? Because, oh, shit, you see that notification I just got, by the way? Running out of time, this meeting will end in 10 minutes. Upgrade now to remove the 40-minute time limit. Bro, they're trying to freaking scam me right now. They want me to buy their stupid-ass premium. They want me to get their OnlyFans subscription going on right now.
Oh yeah, you gonna see just Instagram photos too. Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, Lonzo Ball as well. I don't know if you heard that report and rumor about his knee. Apparently his knee's not getting better. They're having a lot of issues with it right now. I mean, it's a weird thing for Chicago, like because you were supposed to build this much better defensive team under Billy Donovan. He was supposed to finally get you to the playoffs. You got there, but at what cost? You had no players left. Your team had no depth whatsoever. And now you've got all these Zach LaVine rumors to San Antonio, and you've got Lonzo Ball having basically a disabled knee. Like, it's a tough situation, and they still need to trade Kobe White. I don't know what they're going to do. I think they'll get LaVine back. They'll pray for the best with Lonzo. But what do you think's next for the Chicago Bulls? Because, that San Antonio news is kind of coming out of nowhere, and I think it would make a lot of sense for San Antonio to pursue both of those players.
Yeah, I think Chicago, what they got to do is that they got to pray, and I think they got to battle through this because for some reason Chicago has always been tarnished by injuries, and they have to get lucky one season. I agree they do have to trade Kobe White because he does has value. I think that bottom half did him justice. He got some confidence. A lot of teams is looking for a guard like that. You can get some in return, but I think and get some more depth. But I think Chicago still got hope because you got Patrick Williams, who looked like a legitimate Kawhi Jr.-esque player. You got Lonzo. If he can come back, it might take him a while, but I would monitor that day by day, month by month, however you got to do it, because I do think Lonzo is the perfect point guard for the players you have on this team, because you got Caruso, you got DeMar, you got Vucevic, you got Zach LaVine as of now. As of now. And, you got, Derrick Jones Jr. Like, you have some really good talent. You can add to that, probably add some more shooters. I would probably recommend, because when Lonzo comes back, that would be really, really, really dangerous. But I think right now, I don't think you really move any pieces that's the foundation. The only player I think you really maybe see where what you can get for is Kobe White. I agree with you. But outside of that, I think and to be honest, I might not even trade Kobe White until I know 100% sure what Lonzo's
situation. Yeah, I guess that's true.
Just in case. And then, like, hopefully you get to know that before the trade deadline, and I would make a move.
Yeah,
but
I would.
This offseason, I probably honestly, I would expect Chicago to have a very quiet offseason, minus probably trying to extend Zach LaVine. But outside of that, I can see them as being complacent.
Yeah, I would trade Kobe White. I mean, if you're fully in, I think you just gotta hope Zion's good. Like, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. If I was them, I'd just say, well, if Lonzo is not good, then shit, he's gonna be on the roster for a long time. That means we probably won't go anywhere with that contract just sitting there. I'd probably just risk it. You probably trade Kobe White anyway. And do you remember how they brought in Derrick Jones to the team, right? And I think that it helped out the team a lot because they were able to bring in just a forward to come off that bench. If I was them, I think Kobe White still has like a lot of value in this league. I would maybe go to, I don't know who I'd go to, but I would try and aim for like a little bit of a worse type of player, like a Jay Crowder, you know what I mean? Like, not as good as Jay Crowder, of course, but just a 3 and a 4 type player that can defend the perimeter and shoot threes. And I would try and trade, I think, Kobe White for that guy and just see what I can get out of him. But as far as the Bulls go, they've got some moves to make. There's going to be a lot of rumors and news about what their next move is going to be. There has been, I think Kenny actually mentioned this, the report about Rudy Gobert. Not sure if you've heard about that, but there's a rumor they would offer Vucevic, Kobe White, and a first-round pick for Rudy Gobert. And I think both teams would actually come out of that doing pretty well, but it's a tough one. I think, you add in the defense, right? That's what I'd get out of Rudy Gobert, and that's possibly what the team needs, especially if Lonzo's like really hurt, then you got to get that defense back. If Lonzo's hurt, he can always come in and still be a really solid playmaker and shoot threes, but his defense might not be the same as what it used to be.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
I just it's unfortunate because Rudy Gobert is a good player. It's just if Rudy Gobert could just shoot just a little bit,
just a mid-range floater like what DeAndre Ayton does.
I'd be sold on that because I like how Rudy can really space the floor. I think that did him justice too because it'd be a lot of games if you see like he's in the corner, they got whoever they power for that most of the time it'd be like DeMar. He's in a corner, and then whoever the guard is running up middle, and then they literally can just attack. Like they literally can take turns, and DeMar can run But I don't know. I think with Rudy Gobert defensively, yeah, they would be better defensively. Offensively, I don't know, because it's not like DeMar is the best of 3-point shooters.
Yeah, I get that.
Or Patrick Williams is the good 3-point shooter yet, or Lonzo is the best of 3-point shooters if he gets healthy. The best would be Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
So it gets weird, but yeah, I think defensively they would probably be like solid. Top 10. Yeah, they'd be like top 10 in the league for sure.
Lonzo, I think Rudy Gobert would be a better fit for Lonzo than Nikola Vucevic would be, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, because no matter what people can trash on Rudy Gobert. Like I saw people saying the other day that he was not much of a lob threat. Come on now. I know he's not very good offensively, but my man can still catch a lob. And he would do it much better than Vucevic, like 20 times better than Vucevic. I don't think Vucevic is a man that you can see catching too many lobs. And I want to see Lonzo with a play like that. I want to see Lonzo with a really, really solid defender that can come in and, again, catch lobs from him and post some guy down. Like, I feel like Lonzo I feel like he would work better with Rudy Gobert, much better than Nikola Vucevic. I just don't like that duo together. But I guess we got to see, man. It's a big question mark with Lonzo's knee. What type of player is Lonzo Ball going to be in the NBA? How messed up is that knee actually going to be?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of questions. But you're right, though. They could, low-key, have a very quiet off-season. I think they'll be interested in Gobert, but I mean, we'll just have to wait and see, I reckon. I see you've got that draft in the background now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Cavaliers right in 14th, man. On that subject, has your opinion changed on the Cavaliers pick? Do you think we should trade it?
I think we still should trade
it. What would you try and get back?
I got two options here.
All right.
The first one is that we traded to move up. So we had traded to pick maybe Jetty Osman, maybe Dylan Windler, and try out of all the teams I see, probably try to convince either the Knicks or maybe the Spurs.
Ooh. Spurs have been interested in Jetty in the past.
Yeah, because I don't think we're going to be able to convince Portland up. But I do think the Spurs down, we got wiggle room. So, yeah, I try to move up because, honestly, I don't really think we can get anything that's going to make us better with 14.
Yeah.
Like, of course, you always got your gems. It's possible you can get a star. But for Cleveland circumstance, based off of what we finished this season, we can't really settle for the potential of a player right now. Like we have to get players that's going to help us finish and get to the playoffs.
So you wouldn't entertain the idea of that Achai Agbaji guy? Played 35 minutes in college, 41% from three, 5 rebounds per game, 19 points per game, really good defense. But the reason he'd fall down to pick 14 is because he's 22 years old. You wouldn't pick him up?
I've been hearing a lot about him, but everything I've heard is that he's not going to be at 14.
Ooh,
everything I've heard, he's if he gets drafted, he's probably going to be from 12 up, 10 up, depending on how that draft goes, picks and all that stuff. I mean, trades and all that stuff.
Mm.
But which is why I've even heard a lot of people say if we got 14, a lot of people think we should trade up because that's the only way we would get him. So I would try.
Yeah. I think a team like the Spurs, if you were to offer them Cedi Osman, pick 14, and 2 future second-round picks, they would entertain the offer of maybe moving on from 9. It's not impossible because, I mean, the Minnesota Timberwolves did it a couple of years ago with the Suns where they traded up Dario Saric and pick 11 to get pick 6 from Phoenix.
Yeah.
So it's not impossible. So I don't mind what you're saying. Imagine if, the player I would really, really like if he fell to 14, but I just know he's not. Jalen Duren's another guy that I mentioned earlier, how he could literally go everywhere. Like, again, if the Thunder fell down to like pick 6, they would probably, I think they could honestly reach for him at 6. But I'm looking at that board right now, and the Thunder have 12. That's where I think he'll go. And if they don't take him at 12, Hornets, mate, they really need a center. But God damn, would he be perfect for the Cavs just to play that backup center role?
Yeah.
It would be pretty nice, to be honest, but that's a fairy tale. Hopefully just someone like him falls down,
Yeah.
That would be realistically a thing that I like to see, but I don't mind your offer though with Cedi Osman. You just really want to move on from Cedi, I think. I think that's why you want to trade up. You just want to you don't want Cedi Osman at all, right?
I don't. I really don't. No hard feelings though. I appreciate what he's done, but this season, I think he's kind of shown us that we don't necessarily need him.
Yeah. What was your second option?
The second option is that we try our best to use this 14th pick, and it's probably going to take a lot of players and future picks to try to land a star, right? But the problem that I'm facing with that second option, I just don't know who
the star is.
Yeah, like who is it going to be, right? Like, because obviously we got Colin Sexton coming back, and truth be told, for us to probably get that deal done, we would probably either have to use Colin Sexton or Karis LeVert to get the star I'm talking about. But it's like who works? Like, because there's not many wings that's available. So it's seeming like it's either going to be a guard where you hearing players like Zach LaVine or Beal and such, or it's going to be a big where you got DeAndre Ayton on the board. You know what I mean? Like, but then again, you don't need a big because you got Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. So it's like it has to be forward or guard, and it's like it's not the point guard because Darius Garland has got that unlocked. So it got to be a 2 shooting guard or small forward.
I would love Zach LaVine on the Cavs. I would offer him I would say to him, hey, we've got more than what Chicago has right now. Like we were on pace to be nearly like in a similar spot to where Chicago was. You come to our team and we'll keep building on this. Imagine what we could do. Like that's what I would say to him. And then Chicago would get back Colin Sexton, pick 14, a future first or something.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind that deal.
I wouldn't mind that deal either.
Yeah. that would be pretty cool. But so you're not even like considering the third option of maybe just taking a player at that pick? Because that's what I want to do. I think we should just stay put and see who falls to us down at 14.
The only reason I'm not high on it is because I don't feel like this player is gonna really play this season. For because yes, we need small forwards, but I don't think JB's. He's not gonna start him over Larry at the small forward, and as a bench small forward, like assuming we keep Cedi Osman. I don't really think he's gonna get that much more tick than Cedi Osman either. So
I think they'll still move Cedi. I think he gets moved this offseason no matter what.
Yeah, that could very well happen. But I still don't think whoever we draft is going to make that much of a dent for us. Because you got to understand, for Cleveland, whoever we draft, the expectation is that this person we draft is going to help us get to the next level, right? And if said player does not help the Cleveland Cavaliers get to said level, they're going to just bash them because they're going to look at, like, we got worse. We got worse now that we got Colin back. We got Karras. We got DG. We got Jarrett. We got Evan Mobley. We got Larry Markkinen. We added you. We got Ice. And we're not in there, you know? And I just don't think that's going to be I just don't think that's going to be a recipe for success. I think that's – yeah, I just don't think that's going to be the move.
Is it possible, do you think, that the Cavaliers maybe take a step back this year? What would have to happen if the Cavaliers took a step back? And a step back could be as simply as finishing with the same record, because think about it. You finish with the same record and you've got players like Colin Sexton and that all on the team, then seriously, then something's a concern.
I think based off of how our season went this season, we can't take a step back in the sense where we lose, we don't win as many games. Because if that happens, Colin Sexton is going to get hell for that. Like, he's going to get hell. JB's
it would be presumed he would be the reason, especially considering, like, I mean, every loyal Cavs fan knows statistically when Sexton is on the team, the ball movement is slower and it's much more of an ISO type of game.
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
Yeah, but Cleveland is so loyal to Colin Sexton. I've been a recipient of the sword. Whenever I said Colin Sexton out my mouth in any type of, like, negative way, they've slaughtered me. And it's understandable because Colin is, like, he's a loyal guy too. Like, he's never been one of those. But it's like, man, when you really look at like the Cavs, like you said, like, the ball typically moves a little slower. Colin gets hurt, the ball moves a little bit more freely, and we're literally one playing game away from the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, now we got 2 All-Stars, you know? But it's like, I know how narratives work, like, because if Colin Sexton comes back, we pay him this money, he comes back, he's healthy, and we win 10 less games than last season, and we don't even come close to the play-in, they're going to look at Colin Sexton. They're going to look at JB Bickerstaff. They're going to look at Kobe, and they're going to look at whoever we drafted just because, right? Now, if the record is the same, like, if we how many games we won? Like 45?
43, I think it was.
43. So if it's the same, I think maybe they might blame it on, you know, it'd probably be an injury or two we've probably had throughout that season. They probably blame it on that. You know, it kind of killed momentum or rhythm, whatever. But they can't lose more games. They can't lose more games.
I don't think we'd do what the Knicks did, because the Knicks were the team that took, like, a major step back. Yeah. And I think our team this year was much better low-key than the Knicks team last year. I don't think that's even controversial to say, because, like, if the Knicks team didn't change a whole lot. Like, they were supposed to get better by bringing in Fournier and that. And I think as soon as 5 other teams got drastically better, the Knicks just were like, oh shit, the East is so much better now, and just couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
So I don't know. If I was the Cavs, someone's going to be available at 14. That's what I'm saying. I don't know who it's going to be, but I'm hoping it's someone good. And that's I would stick thin with that pick, in my opinion. But next thing is, speaking about the Knicks, Jalen Brunson. What is going on with him? Because he's playing out of his mind. That is exactly what is going on with Jalen Brunson. He's going to get offers of around $25 million per year, I reckon. Guaranteed. Like, if Sexton's going to be getting $20 million per year plus type of offers, Jalen Brunson's going to be getting similar, right?
That's a lot of money, man.
It is a lot of cash.
You said 25?
I reckon it'll be, dude, if Sexton's getting $22 million per year and it goes up to $27 million on the 4th year, Jalen Brunson will get the same deal. Think about it like this. The Knicks, right? Who do you think they're more likely to offer money to? Colin Sexton or Jalen Brunson?
They'd probably give it to Jalen Brunson because
how much is Duncan Robinson on this year?
Isn't he making like $20 million?
$20 million not to play.
Oh, shoot.
And you're telling me that $22 million per year for Jalen Brunson's a lot of money? I got news for you, my friend. I don't think that's a big call at all anymore. Not in today's NBA where players are getting overpaid like out of the window.
But I think that's a problem. On a quick tangent, I think that's a problem by itself. Just the wages, like that is crazy. But yeah, I just don't see, like, Jalen Brunson has been hooping, but 22, and then you said possibly $27 million
on his 4th year. Think about it like this:
for a 4-year contract.
He's not just been hooping; he's been the second best player on a conference finals team, averaging over like 20 points per game, six assists per game, great 3-point numbers, and he's not even the main guard on his team. What would happen if he was the main point guard on the Knicks? Jalen Brunson looks like a dude that's about to explode as a player. And someone's going to offer him a lot of money.
But would he be that type of person as a first option?
Not as a first option, but as an established point guard, yeah.
You think if he was on the Knicks right now, you think he'd be better?
Oh, yeah. Maybe not under Tom Thibodeau, because I don't know what the hell they're doing there. Because Tom Thibodeau is really defensive-minded. I mean, he just plays defenders and defenders only.
Yeah.
But with RJ Barrett, think about it. And especially if they're trading Julius Randle, like if that rumors are true, think about all the extra shots Jalen Brunson would get. He's averaging 20 points per game on the Knicks. Easily.
This curiosity, how many points? I mean, how much does Tim Hardaway makes out of curiosity?
17 million or so. I feel like I'm slowly convincing you. I feel like it's setting in about all these overpaid guys.
The only reason I say that is because Tim Hardaway Jr. last year on Dallas, he averaged 17 points in the play. Oh shoot, messed up. But he averaged 17 points, and then the year before he averaged 18. And and what I'm, in my personal opinion, I believe, and they averages in the season was about the same. Jalen Brunson averaged 2 points, but my point is, I think Jalen Brunson. Oh man, I think we might be valuing his impact a little bit. I think we might be overrating him already.
But you're telling me though, if the Knicks could get their established point guard for the future, who could very well average them 18 to 20 points per game on like 6 assists, you wouldn't offer him $20 million a year.
I wouldn't do it with Jalen Brunson.
Dude, he's killing it in the playoffs. He killed it towards the end of last year. He's one of the, and there's no good free agents. Like, they're all gone. They're all going to re-sign.
That's true, but
Jalen Brunson's the guy that's there. And
but the Knicks has had a reputation of doing that exact same thing.
Too many times.
It wasn't free agents in the market, so they signed it to whoever the best. Randle was a perfect example of that. They gave him whatever the maximum they could at that time. And it might have worked out the season after.
Yeah, they ended up making the playoffs. Yep.
But the year after the playoffs, now they talking about they want to trade him. He was overrated. He's overpaid. And I think this might be a great example of this.
Can I ask you this though?
Drew Randall on the Pelicans was doing this.
Yeah, true.
He was a really, really productive player.
The Pelicans are a little bit different than the Mavericks. The Mavericks are a conference finals team.
True.
And their second best players putting up 20 and 6. And okay, so maybe you don't think he's worth the money. But in today's league, where all these players, Duncan Robinson's getting 20 million, other players, Tim Hardaway got 18 million, 17 million years ago. In today's league, when a 20-point per game type of guy comes available, really young still, 24, 25 years old, heading into his prime, never been an established point guard before, really looking for that chance. Do you think, though, in all honesty, a team like the Knicks would offer him that money?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think the Knicks would offer him that money. I just don't think they should. That's what I'll get across. I think this is why teams like the Knicks will never be successful long term, because they consistently make the mistake of doing this because of short term decision making. This is what is what I'm getting, because it's like you're 100% right. Like, if you look at what he's currently doing, a team like New York who's desperate all of the time, who has the money to blow, they're gonna pay a player like that.
Yeah,
but they shouldn't. They should not do like they should
Probably
do that.
Not. It's so tough.
This is what I'm telling you. If they, I will, man. I'm willing to bet if they make that move, I promise you the Knicks, they're not making it past the first round if they make that move.
My worry is that Jalen Brunson does exactly what I say he will, average 20 and 6, but they don't even make the play-in. That's my worry.
Who, for the Knicks?
Yeah, the Knicks, yeah.
That's
my worry.
But what was the point of you signing this player? Because you paid him as an all-star, pretty much, right? You paid him as a player that gets you over the hump, right?
Well, what's the max now? The max is like 37, 38 million now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it used to be 30 million, but now it's like people say Kevin Love's on the max. No, he's not anymore. The max contract is not $30 million anymore. Yeah. That's why I'm saying, like, salary's going up soon. Jalen Brunson is going to be there, and whether they make the play on or not, what they would be doing is building a foundation, right? I don't think they've got a foundation right now in New York, because they don't know what's going to be going on with Julius Randle. I swear half of New York fans want Obi Toppin to start over Randle. Like, that's the reality of things.
I see.
Yeah.
I see that.
They don't have a foundation at all. They don't have a center. They don't have their established power forward. They don't have an established small forward. Don't have an established point guard. But you bring in Brunson, you would finally have an established point guard, and I think that would be the right step in the right direction. And $20 million I don't think that's a whole lot anymore. Especially with the money going up in a couple of years. I don't think 20 million is a whole lot anymore. And the way I see it is, maybe it's because I'm not too high on Colin Sexton. But if Colin Sexton's getting 20-something million per year, then why shouldn't Jalen Brunson get that money?
Because your team ain't established yet. At least with a team like Cleveland, at least you got a Jared Allen, a Mobley, a Darius Garland.
Yeah.
At the very the Knicks, you're hoping that RJ Barrett will possibly be an all-star. As much as I like RJ Barrett,
I think he will get there.
Hopefully, Drew Randall will be an all-star again.
So you think it's a lot of gambling for the Knicks, is what you're trying to say? It's a big gamble
because they've kept doing it, like they did it with him. But that one was more reasonable because it was a cheaper contract. That was probably in my opinion, one of their better moves. Right? They got Derrick Rose on a reasonable contract. Drew Randall, y'all paid Drew Randall. Y'all gave Evan Fournier some money. And I feel like they got somebody else in free agency. I just can't.
Alec Burks re-signed for 3 years, $30 million.
That wasn't bad.
Yeah, that's not bad. I don't think New York have gambled in a long time, though. I don't feel like New York haven't for a long. Well, who have they gambled on? I wouldn't say Julius Randle was a whole lot of a gamble. He was a solid player, and it was only a 1 year. No, it was a 2 year, $18 million per year type deal. And it was the Knicks. They were the worst team practically in the league, and they needed someone. I don't really think it was a big gamble. And then other than that, who else? Like, maybe they just need to do something. Like, I mean, what happens if you don't get Jalen Brunson? Let's just say you don't get Jalen Brunson on 3 years, $20 million per year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who else is there? Who's going to be your point guard next season then?
That's a good question. Hopefully it would be Derrick Rose. Maybe it'd be Quickly, depending on I don't know how much faith they got in Quickly.
They like Quickly at the 2, and Derrick Rose is injury prone, and I don't think they're going to have Derrick Rose on the team next year.
Oh no, they're gonna have him on the roster. It's Tom Thibodeau.
Oh, that's true. That's true too.
That's if I didn't know no better, that's Tom Thibodeau's child, man. That's his son.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what they're gonna do. I think Jalen Brunson gets to the Knicks. That's what I'm saying, though.
So if you make this, this is my question to you: if you sign Jalen Brunson, right? You give him this $27 million, 4 years. Does he get you to the playoffs?
He helps, yeah.
But does he get you to the playoffs?
Maybe not in the first year, but he will.
So what do you think you would need alongside Jalen Brunson to legitimately get you in the playoffs for the Knicks?
A good coach. That's what I think. That's what I think they need.
So
who I don't think Tom Thibodeau is the guy. Like, you can't tell me Tom Thibodeau is the guy when you go out and trade for Cam Reddish and he doesn't even play him. He basically admitted to a journo that he didn't want them to trade for Cam Reddish.
Yeah.
If you're looking at it like this, if you go into next year and whoever their starting center is going to be, but if you had a core of point guard Jalen Brunson, shooting guard RJ Barrett, small forward Cam Reddish, and power forward Obi Toppin, there's a lot of question marks in that starting 5 or 4 rather. But it's not something Tom Thibodeau is willing to do. It's not a risk that he wants to take, and it's, in my opinion, it's stupid that he doesn't want to take that risk, and it's dumb of him because I think all 4 of those players have potential to be really solid starters in the NBA. And they all add value, and he's not giving any of them a chance except RJ Barrett, and maybe if he gets Brunson, he might. But there's no guarantees, even if he gets Brunson, that he's going to like the guy. Brunson likes to score. I don't think that fits well with Tom Thibodeau. He likes defenders, you know?
I mean, he likes Derrick Rose.
But Derrick Rose is the exception. Look at Derrick Rose on that Chicago Bulls team. He was like the only scorer they had. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but no, I understand what you're coming from.
Yeah. So, very well, we could see them maybe bring in Brunson, who he doesn't even like to start off with, then play RJ at the 2, then he still plays maybe Evan Fournier or some Alec Burks type dude, a power forward and probably Julius Randle, who will probably just want to keep on, and then he'll probably just play Mitch Robinson at the center again because he can defend. I don't think Tom Thibodeau is the right guy, but yeah, it's the Cam Reddish question. It's really the Cam Reddish question. You know who Cam Reddish would still be good on? The Cavaliers, mate. I'm saying it right now.
Oh yeah, I doubled down on that one.
I still feel like it'd be good for us, right?
Shoot, if his asking price was really that low, we should have been shipped that second round pick off. We could have got him and Karis LeVert. That would have been crazy.
Yeah, why did we not?
That would have.
Maybe Atlanta didn't. What was it? Sorry.
I'm about to say, I mean, when it came out, they was like, the reason Cleveland didn't do it is because they felt like they had too many shot creators.
Yeah. Oh, man. I don't know. It's a tough one. Yeah. It's a weird one, right? With the Cavaliers and their shot creators. Because that means if they say that would assume that Colin Sexton's getting re-signed long term.
Yeah.
But I still feel like Cam Reddish. That's another thing, too. when he tries, he's a really solid defender. So why does Tom Thibodeau not like this guy? It doesn't make any sense to me. I think he'd fit in with the Cavs. I think the Cavs should go to the Knicks and say, hey, if your coach is, stupid in the head, then we'll give you a, whatever they want, like a Jetty Osman or something, who even knows, and a couple of second-round picks or something, and try and get Cam Reddish to the team.
I agree.
But, yeah, I don't know.
I 100% agree.
Is that so? You think that's the move the Cavs should try and do? Maybe a Cam Reddish type move.
Yeah, I think that'd be ideal for him because it'd be ideal for him because obviously Tom Thibodeau does not want Cam Reddish.
No,
like you said, he's literally voiced that he was not playing him because he told his general manager that he did not want him. So because he didn't want him, he wasn't giving him tick early on, right? Since he's not going to play, and because it seems like New York is not going to fire Tom Thibodeau, trade him. Get somebody Tom Thibodeau will want to coach. I think it's Jetty Osman. I think, and the reason I think, because I think Jetty Osman is low-key a Tom Thibodeau type of player. Like he got size. He somewhat can defend, but he gives him size. He can shoot, and he just like that, I won't say Luol Deng type of player because Luol Deng was a better defender.
Yeah.
But I think he fits the niche of what Tom Thibodeau wants.
I can see where you're coming from.
He got years in the league. Like he understands what Tom Thibodeau would want. Because Tom Thibodeau does like his older players. He loves his older players, so I think he would fit that, and I think he would put Jetty Osman in crunch time. Because if Tom Thibodeau fell in love with Alec Burke.
He did.
He fell in love with eventually RJ Barrett. Of course, Taj Gibson, because he's been on every single team Tom Thibodeau has coached.
That's true.
I think Jetty Osman for Cam. Maybe we give him a second round pick. I don't know. In addition to that, but I think Cam Reddish would work better with us. He would be. I think he would be ideal.
Yeah.
For Cleveland.
I agree. Last thing that I kind of wanted to talk about is this is all being reported by The Athletic, by the way, this one. The Rudy Gobert Atlanta Hawk rumor that's been going on. Somehow the Atlanta Hawks seem to be the favorite to get Rudy Gobert right now. And an offer that kind of actually got mentioned was Clint Capella and DeAndre Hunter. Straight up, those two players for Rudy Gobert. And the way the Hawks would apparently go about this thinking is Rudy Gobert is a obviously much better defender than what Clint Capella is. And they think that he would actually work better with Trae Young. And again, add that more defense to the team. I'm not sold on this, though, because I think Onyeka Okongwu played really solid basketball towards the end of the year. And I think there is a better team that you can send Clint Capella to if you really want him gone. Surely there would be someone out there that would take him. For example, if Oklahoma don't land a center in this draft or whatever, let's just say maybe they get Chet and they want to play Chet at the 4. Capella would be interesting for them. Houston, I don't know who they're going to play as their guaranteed center unless they're going to roll Christian Wood and whoever they take at 3 is like the forward center duo. There surely is a team out there that would be in the market for a center, right? So I don't feel like this is necessarily something that needs to go down. The Charlotte Hornets, right? They're a team as well. They need a center. So if you really want to get rid of Clint Capella so bad, is Rudy Gobert the guy? Like, wouldn't you just play on Onyeka Okongwu off that bench?
I would go. Yeah, I would just develop Onyeka Okongwu. I think what he's shown the second half and in the early parts of the playoff is definitely what they needed. I think, and I think he's more relatable for Trae Young. Reason because he understands his role. I think that's kind of what the issue they was having with John Collins. He just didn't understand his role. I think that's a player they're gonna end up trading this offseason.
Yeah, I can say that.
But I think they stick with a Kungu because I think I feel like they can find a lot cheaper rim protectors than Rudy Gobert. Now for the Hornets though, I think that would actually be ideal.
Getting Clint Capella.
Yeah, getting Clint Capella or Rudy Gobert. They might not have the assets to trade for Rudy Gobert, but they definitely would have the assets to trade for Clint Capella. And I can just see the pick and roll with him and LaMelo, and then they got those two not PJ Washington, but oh my God, what is this?
Their wings, like Miles Bridges.
Yeah, Miles Bridges, and you got Miles Bridges and Clint Capella literally crash into the you literally got two lob threats, because we've seen what Clint Capella does in a pick and roll situation with Harden, right? Mm. But then we've seen what Miles Bridges does in a pick and roll situation with LaMelo, so that would be dangerous. And then you have a legitimate rebounder in Clint Capella, who at one point was the second leading rebounder in the league. So. Yeah. That would be a huge upgrade from Plumlee and a more durable upgrade from Plumlee.
I think the Hawks could get a good deal out of this too, though. Imagine, I still think Mason Plumlee, I think as a backup dude for the Hawks would actually be a nice backup, Play 20 minutes per game off their bench, help on Onyeka Okongwu out. You could possibly bring in a protected first or something like that. I think could definitely get the deal done. But yeah, you're right about John Collins, though. Who does he get sent to?
That's $1 million question. Because I think he got a lot of value.
We were really interested in him. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yeah. Now we got Evan Mobley. Yeah. That was low key. That was, like you said, that was a blessing in disguise that we didn't. Because the money he ended up getting and. And, because I think John Collins is in a weird dilemma where he feels like he's a number one option player. I think he's like how KP was, he thinks he's a number one option player. He wants 20 plus touches a game, but it's not a lot of teams where he's going to get that as a power forward. He's just and especially he got moves, but he's not he's not like a Kevin Durant or a Giannis or even Sabonis, even those type of power forwards, that's a tough ask.
I was about to say, I wonder if you're the Pacers, do you look at a dude like John Collins?
But who you trade though?
I mean, the Hawks could always look at Miles Turner. It would be an interesting option. But I don't know. I like Onyeka Okongwu starting there, but I don't know. Maybe Buddy Hield and something else for John Collins. That'd be an interesting option for both teams.
That would have been intriguing, though. That would their 3-point shooting would be crazy.
Yeah, Hawks would have Trae Young, Buddy Hield, DeAndre Hunter, Danilo Gallinari, and Onyeka Okongwu all in that 5. And they need to give Gallinari a go. I'm sick of Gallinari not getting minutes in the NBA. It's honestly one of the things that I hate. I don't get how Gallinari went from an 18-point-per-game scorer in OKC, starting to coming off the bench and playing 18 minutes a game. And when he does play, he plays really good. Why is he on the Hawks team coming off the bench? It hurts my feelings a lot.
Yeah.
Poor bloke.
Yeah.
I don't know. He would be cool to start. I would like him starting again. And it seems like the Hawks like him more than John Collins, low key.
Yeah, because he understands his role.
Yeah.
I think that's a problem. I think if they had more players that understood their role, I think the Hawks actually got a better team than a lot of people credit to. But they just don't understand. Well, John Collins just don't understand his role. And I think it mess up a lot of the mismatches they have because they can really kill some teams offensively. Especially if Trae Young is there and doing what he does, he can really create some tension. But it's just I think they're not progressing because of John Collins.
Yeah.
But I would like to ask you though, because I know you said, you stated that OKC, if they not if they don't necessarily get the power forward they want. Do you think OKC would have some interest in John Collins?
Cool. I don't think so. The reason I don't think they would is because, honestly, I used to think Oklahoma, they might target this player in free agency, that player in free agency, this and that. But they don't seem to want to do that. I think for the next couple of years, they're going to keep going to free agency and not bringing anyone in and not trading for anyone. I think they're just going to keep building the team year by year. And I think their owner's happy with that. And I think this year with their 12th overall pick and second overall pick, they will bring in their center and power forward. They will bring in Chet Holmgren. They will bring in Jalen Duren. I think they'll bring in both, honestly. I think that will be their mission to come out of this draft with both.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you one more question then. Do you think Phoenix would try to trade DeAndre Ayton for John Collins?
Wow, that's a good question. I think DeAndre Ayton's a lot better than John Collins. So
I agree.
I think John Collins just gave up on Phoenix, which is not what you want. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one, but I think, I don't know, do you want to keep going or how do you want to do this? Because we got a minute left.
Because, okay. Because I'm trying to think of everybody we talked to and just see. Would you do John Collins for Christian Wood?
John Collins for Christian Wood?
It's just once I thought about it, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, yeah.
Christian Wood for John Collins?
Yeah.
Dude, these are tough because, like, where do you think the Rockets sit? Do you think they're gonna want Christian Wood long term?
Honestly, it depends. It depends on who they draft this year. Because they Jesus Christ, now I gotta go back to that draft. What pick are they?
They got 3. So that would most likely be Paola Bonchoro, I would think they would take.
And he's a forward, right? So
he's a power forward, 6'10", really big but athletic. I think he's more of a power forward that would lean over to the center position than the small forward.
And they got another big out there that's like been making some noise too.
Alfred Şengün.
Yeah, so that might be intriguing.
What, to play Şengün with Bonchoro, or? Because that's what I wouldn't assume they would go for John Collins then. I think the Rockets team is weirdly, I don't know if it's weirdly built, but I need to see what KPJ is going to be like, because people were hyping Kevin Porter Jr. up again this year, even though he nearly averaged the most turnovers per game and was averaging as many turnovers as he was assists at one stage. So do you need to find the point guard for the team, or is KPJ the future at that point guard position? And that's another question that we got to see. So I wouldn't go for John Collins if I was them, because I'd like to see Şengün be their starting center. But yeah, maybe if they bring in Bonchoro, does that mean you got to get rid of Christian Wood? That would be the question.
I think Christian Wood is going to be a question mark. And your first question, I do not think Kevin Porter Jr. is going to be their point guard long term.
Okay.
I think he's going to be like a situational point guard.
A point guard for a jail team. Yep.
Yeah.
Probably right.
Yeah. Because I don't know. Because, don't get me wrong, he got a lot of time to develop, because he's still a young player. He could, it's been players who has statistically been worse at their position and developed into what they needed to be, if not better. But that is alarming. When you talk about a player that's supposed to be a point guard, like a facilitating point guard, and his assist to turnover ratio is disgusting. Yeah, it's disgusting. I don't know if he should be point guard. That tells you that he's wasting possessions, right? Especially since Houston's supposed to have this fast-paced offense that they're trying to implement, right? They're trying to get everybody running and gunning and all that. But you're obviously losing games because of his play style. Not saying he's the sole person.
They need a new coach too, by the way. I don't like their coach whatsoever.
I think he just got some terrible players.
Yeah, that's true too.
I'm not gonna blame him, but I just think he got some terrible player. Like, look, what they should have just did, and I hate it because it's my favorite point guard. They should have just let John Wall play because he's literally the point guard they needed. Let him literally show Kevin Porter Jr. what he needed to do, and then you trade him. You know, basically treat him how Cleveland treated Ricky Rubio. Is he just more expensive?
True. Yeah.
Like, it's just way more expensive. But I think John Wall probably would have did y'all better because he would have fast-tracked y'all progression a lot faster than what y'all needed to. The only thing is y'all probably would have won more games, so y'all probably wouldn't have had a pick. But I think sometimes you have to take the bad with the good because I think Kevin Porter Jr. would have jailed with John Wall because of how John Wall personality is. But at the same time, I think he would have had them young guys more like Jalen Green. Like, because Jalen Green, to me, he in certain instances, from an athletic standpoint, he reminds me of a young John Wall.
Okay.
But then Kevin Porter Jr., from an intense standpoint, reminds me of a young John Wall. It's just,
I can say that.
But Houston got a lot of questions.
Could you imagine if Houston took Jaden Ivey at 3? What like a betrayal? It wouldn't be a betrayal, obviously, but what a kick in the ribs that would be to Kevin Porter. That basically would tell him that you're not our future starting point guard.
Yeah.
And Kevin Porter would probably leave straight away. Knowing him, he would request a trade straight away.
He would probably have to. He just wouldn't have a lot of value.
Back to Cleveland. No.
I'll take him back.
I don't even know if I would, but there's a lot of to talk about here. The other situation that I think would be interesting is too. Low key is the Portland Trailblazers. I feel so bad for Damian Lillard. Did you see Damian Lillard show up to that draft basically with a whole entire city on his back just to fall down in the lottery? Do you know that sad TikTok song? The one called Tell Me Why I'm Waiting? Yeah. I was thinking someone's going to edit him sitting there with a black and white filter, and it's just going to be, tell me why I'm waiting. Just him, mate. He deserves everything, that guy. I feel so bad for him. And I don't like how people shit on Portland. Like, I've clearly never been there. But in his words, people really be going to Oklahoma. Like, why would you want to trash on Portland? You know what I mean? Okay, turn that off, bro. Turn it off. Shut it down, man. I don't want to see it. Shut it down. You've been outrageous with these backgrounds today, mate. I don't like it one little bit. But realistically, it's 7-2. I feel even worse for him because the perfect player for them was Keegan Murray. Have you heard of him? 6'8", 6'8", small forward / power forward. That's a really good perimeter defender and really good 3-point shooter. That would have been perfect for the Trailblazers. Could have got him at 5, could have got him at 6, and they fall to pick 7. Now it's projected that the Pistons will be taking Keegan Murray at pick 5 because then they'll trade Jeremy Grant. That's what they're saying. Got to feel bad for Damian Lillard. Screw it. I'm making the TikTok. I'm putting it on as a short.
Dame's demand a trade, man. Portland. Dame literally dropped his head in the draft lottery when he seen his number. Like Portland literally was terrible for no reason.
Yeah.
Like they traded CJ McCollum. They lost Eric Bledsoe. they traded the other point guard they got from that trade.
Wait, what did they get out of CJ McCollum, by the way?
Markelle Alexander,
Yeah.
Eric Bledsoe, Josh Hart. But they traded Markelle Alexander. I forgot for who. Eric Bledsoe got hurt. And Josh Hart, yeah.
What happened to that first round pick? Where did it go? Because they got a first round pick from New Orleans, didn't they? It was a very heavily protected first. Oh, because New Orleans made the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Do they get to... Who gets that pick then? We need to investigate this before we hop off.
Yeah.
Who gets that pick? Because draft order. Because low key, this could mean if that CJ McCollum trade was successful or not. Where did it go? Charlotte got it. How did Charlotte get it? Man, it must have had some protection on it where Charlotte somehow got it. By the way, Charlotte have picked 15 and 13. I don't know how they did that. Somehow. But yeah, I don't know. That's a big L for the Trailblazers. So they got Josh Hart out of CJ McCollum then.
Yeah, that was basically a 1-for-1 trade. Josh Hart for CJ.
They had to have gotten something else, right? They had to have.
Yeah. I don't know.
And they didn't even get Eric Bledsoe out of that deal because Eric Bledsoe was the Norman Powell one. Who'd they get out of that? Did they really get Eric Bledsoe out of Norman Powell? Yeah. Right, what happened to Portland? They just traded away all these guys for a packet of Doritos and they didn't even get a Mountain Dew. They got a Sprite. What happened? What did Portland do? That's what Damian Lillard just dropped his head and was like, my God. What happened?
This is what I'm saying. Dave needs to leave Portland. Y'all are unlucky. Y'all are probably the worst development staff I've ever seen. Y'all can't develop. Y'all cannot scout. Y'all can't make trades. Portland has not done anything successful at any point consecutive.
And you know how high I am on Portland, and I'm starting to realize, oh my God. Like, could you imagine Damian Lillard? He's probably thinking, all right, so what did you get me? So we tanked the whole year, played the worst basketball I've ever seen us play. You traded away CJ McCollum. You traded away Norman Powell. What did you get me? And they'll come up to him and they'll be like, yeah, we got you Eric Bledsoe. We got you Josh Hart. And there's a chance we may get Jeremy Grant in free agency when we try and trade for him. But there's no guarantee. So sit back and relax and watch the show. And we didn't win the lottery. We got pick 7.
You literally got Damian Lillard rumors of a DeAndre Ayton, a Zach LaVine, a Jeremy Grant. Like,
that's what they should do. They should just offer DeAndre Ayton $50 million a year because that's the only way they'll get him. Because I don't think Phoenix will want anything the Trailblazers have other than pick 7. And
because they don't have anything.
And the Trailblazers aren't going to want to give up pick 7. They're going to, because that's the only thing they got out of doing all of this shit was pick 7.
Yeah. And it's not like you're not going to trade Josh Hart because I'm assuming this is who you're going to use to rebuild the roster with a Fernie Simons.
Yeah.
Right. So the only.
That's another good point. I guess trading CJ basically brought in a new player because Anthony Simons was 20 times better when CJ was out the door.
Yeah,
but it's still not a lot.
But it's still not he's still not even even though he has played 20 times better, he's still not even half of what CJ McCollum was and ended up being in New Orleans. They ended up making the playoffs the moment they went. So the only tradable asset, the most realistic tradable asset you got is Dame, but you're not even willing to give him up. And Nurkic is so injury prone. You're not gonna get your fullest dollar.
And
for
they
Nurkic.
have to bring him back too, because first of all, no one wants Nurkic. I don't think he's probably gonna go anywhere because he'll just re-sign in Portland because no other team will want him.
He's banged up.
They also lost Robert Covington and Larry Nance for no reason.
They're in LA.
Yeah,
You
they
gave
could
him
have
for-
gotten Lauri Markkanen, by the way. When they gave up Derek Jones and all of that, they watched Lauri Markkanen go to the Cavs, and they could have even had that guy, but they picked Larry Nance over him, who played 2 games for him.
And then he still ended up in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Oh, so they gave him two in that trade. I forgot. Yeah.
I hate the fact that Larry Nance left the Cavs because he wanted to make the playoffs. And the Cavaliers had a way better year than New Orleans did, but somehow Larry Nance still got his wish and we still didn't make the playoffs. Screw Larry Nance, bro. But thank you for Lauri Markkanen. I appreciate that. I don't mind Lauri Markkanen for Larry freaking Nance. That's a good trade. But yeah, I think we call it off here because honestly, what I was really empathetic for Portland because I thought they were going to have 2 first-round picks, and I think they would have somehow got them if the Pelicans didn't make the playoffs. So I think there was some protection thing on, where if the Pelicans missed the playoffs, I think it somehow would have gotten to the Trailblazers somehow, but somehow it's now gone to the Hornets. But man, I didn't go to college, so you can figure this out in your own time. All right, but yeah, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this podcast. Shout out to Relly. I think I'm doing a podcast with old mate Pip next week, mate. I don't know.
That should be fun.
Yeah, I found this other guy. He has a YouTube channel called Just Dame, and he has about, I think, 300, 400 subs. And it was similar to when I started watching you. When I started watching you, when you had like 300 subs. When I first found you out online, I was like, yo, we're going to make a podcast with this guy. I texted this other dude and I said, what's going on? Because he makes some Cavs content and I think we might be setting up a podcast. So yeah, anyone who's watched this 2-hour long podcast, there you go. Might be doing one with him. But the Pip one should be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that should be fun for sure.
Yeah. All right, go subscribe to Relly's channel. Link in the description down below. And I guess we'll watch this space. We'll see what the Cavs do. We'll see what the Trailblazers do. Yeah,
we know
what happens. Yeah. Spoiler alert, they're not going to do much. So leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and we will see you guys next time. Goodbye.